Well, we are right at the top of our beginning time. So thank you for being here, everyone. Welcome. My name is Kelly Olson Stewart, and I am the program chair of the PhD in Education, associate professor, host for this session. Help us help you help your students help themselves. Best title. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with the TLC related materials. Microphones will be muted for this presentation. We do encourage you to post questions in the chat. We've enabled live transcription, and if you would like to use it, please click the Show Captions button at the bottom of your Zoom window. I am pleased to introduce our two presenters today, the A Squared. We have Allison McDermott and Anna Uribe. Allison is the Reference Services Librarian and Liaison to the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Arizona Global Campus. She has been with the university since 2018. She is passionate about helping students develop their information literacy skills, locate the materials they need to be successful in their courses, and become lifelong learners. Allison holds a master's degree in library and information science from San Jose University. Anna Uribe has been with the UAGC Library since 2015. She is the liaison for the School of General Studies and doctoral programs. Anna earned a master's in library and information science through an online program at San Jose State University. This personal experience helps her relate to the online students she serves in her roles as lead instruction librarian. And with that, I will turn it over to A Squared.
All right, thanks everyone for joining. Let's go ahead and we'll progress to the slides. Okay. So as you got our names, you know the title. We'll go ahead and keep on going. So we're glad you're here. We'd love to start and kick things off with a little icebreaker. We're going to be using a Mentimeter poll so we can see everyone's responses coming in. Ooh, I see I need to accept and continue. Let's make sure we get that. There we go. Hopefully we'll be able to use this. Sorry, gang. Thanks everyone for bearing with me. Always fun doing this stuff live. I would love to move this out of the way. There we go. So as I'm getting this poll set up, I'll let you know what we're going to be asking y'all. We want to know about a service or resource that you wish you had known about before. So for me, I remember when I was kind of getting started in my library career, a colleague shared the Cornell note-taking method with me, and I was like, what? Where was this when I was an undergrad, when I was a grad student? Oh my gosh, I would have done such a better job, and so I'm curious to know if there's anything like that you have experienced or would like to share about. And so if you want to share with us, you can scan this QR code, or you can go to menti.com and use code 89455161 to share something you wish you had known about earlier. And if it's something maybe library related, I wouldn't mind I'll give you some bonus points in my heart. And even if it's maybe not something you personally have dealt with, maybe it's something you've heard from students, like you tell the students, you can call a librarian, and they're like, excuse me, I didn't know that they were waiting by the phones for us. So would love to know what y'all have experienced. And if folks are entering, we should be seeing polls coming up. And I see we do have 20 participants. So let me take a look at the chat and make sure that folks can do this. Okay. Oh, RefWorks. Okay, yeah. Sharing in the chat is great too. So if Menti's not being polite with us, we can go ahead and just share in the chat. Okay. So we responded in Mentimeter. Recite. Okay, awesome. So Recite. I'm not sure why my Mentimeter poll is not working. I was really excited to give you guys a razzle dazzle. I'm sorry that didn't come up, but That's okay because it will show up when we have this to review and we can share other things. Oh, but also I love what's going on in the chat. The Pomodoro method, Recite. Let me see if there's any others. Oh my gosh, a systematic way to archive note taking. Dr. Olson, that's a good point. And we have, I think you and I have worked together on some curriculum to help students with that. Jennifer, I can remember when I first showed you the RefWorks citation RefWorks citation management plugin, in Word, and the delight that came from you as a writing expert. I was so overjoyed. I was like, oh my gosh, if Jennifer loves this, this is going to be great for students. Wow, these are some great, thanks to everyone for participating in the chat. And I'm sorry it's not showing up on my Mentimeter Live. Maybe you're seeing it, maybe I'm not. I'll go ahead and proceed. So thanks so much for the engagement. So today we're going to share with you all things, oh my gosh, the Control F. Wow. Yeah, no, I still teach students that. We're going to share all things library support so we can help you help your students and maybe hear a little bit less of why didn't anyone tell me about this sooner? Okay, so first we're going to talk about how embedding library support in courses can help prevent problems before they start. So Gen 499 is a great example of how we can work with faculty to raise student awareness of important resources. This course requires students use their local 211 service to identify a problem to solve within their community. So if you were to ask students, go find a community problem to solve, they probably wouldn't know where to start. So we worked with the lead faculty to develop a library quick answer explaining what 211 is, how to explore it to identify a community problem, and how to search for information related to that problem. And this quick answer is embedded directly in the assignment. And this approach is great for our non-traditional students because it provides flexible, self-directed, just-in-time support. So research has shown that students' research skills improve when this information literacy instruction is embedded into the curriculum. And since students are a little less likely to take this advice from we librarians, we need your help in getting the word out. So they're more likely to listen to faculty or advisors or peers. So I'm going to hand it over to Allison, and she's going to tell you how you can help us get the word out.
Thank you, Anna. So as faculty, one of the most important things you can do to help us, help you, help students help themselves is by promoting our services. Not only will they do better in their coursework, which will benefit you, but it will increase their chances of degree attainment, which is what we all want. In fact, some of the most prolific users of our services are doctoral students and Gen 103 students because faculty are actively encouraging them to reach out to the library and take advantage of our expertise. In turn, they tend to do better in their coursework. Because, like it or not, you faculty members are academic rock stars to those students. And if you tell them that they need library support or any other type of support for that matter, they are more likely to listen to you than they are to us regular folks. So we always recommend that you just encourage them to reach out to us. A great way to direct students to library support without being too overbearing is to use HTML announcements. These can easily be posted in the Canvas classroom right in the announcement section. The best part is you don't have to create these announcements since we have a set of pre-developed announcements available on the Writing Center website. You can just grab and go as you see fit. And if you have an idea for an HTML announcement to promote a useful resource or address an issue that keeps coming up with your students, please reach out to your library liaison or even your Writing Center liaison, and we are more than happy to help you create custom announcements. A great example I'll use is I recently had a faculty member reach out to let me know that students were not checking the library citations, the database generated citations, against the information provided by the Writing Center. And unfortunately, because these are computer generated citations, sometimes there's mistakes, right? So this was a great opportunity to create an HTML announcement to promote the use of the database citation tools and reinforce the need for students to double check their citations with the APA information provided by the Writing Center. And for those of you who want to take a more direct approach to encouraging your students to use our services, there is Signals, a communication tool found in the Canvas classroom. While this can be used for other kinds of supports as well, including subject and writing tutoring, you can also use it to direct students to library tutoring as well. Sending a message to a student who seems to be struggling with their research to let them know that library tutoring is available for them and they should utilize it might be the push they've been waiting for to get them the help they need. And with that said, for those students who don't play well with others, and I will admit I was one of those back in the day, we have a wide variety of do-it-yourself resources, and these can be found on the library's homepage under Library Help and Information in the right portion of the page. So Quick Answers provides students with immediate answers to the library's most frequently asked questions. And if their question is not already in the answers, students have the option to submit those questions directly to us. One of the great things about Quick Answers is that the platform is public facing, so students do not need to worry about authenticating into the library to take advantage of this knowledge base. Questions within Quick Answers can be easily embedded in the Canvas classroom at the point of need. So if you find one you would like to use in your course, feel free to use it. We're also happy to create custom FAQs for a course upon request, as Anna outlined in Gen 499. And these can be quickly and easily created and updated, which is a major plus in our ever-changing landscape. LibraryU provides students access to short videos and tip sheets, tutorials regarding how to best utilize the library and get the most out of your research. Resources include topics such as how to conduct research within the library, develop keywords, read a scholarly article, and use folders in the different databases. All of our resources are ADA accessible. And if you see a student struggling in their research, you can always direct them to LibraryU for a quick tutorial or grab one of the resources that you think may benefit them the most and send it their way. We have created several research guides to help students with their research in specific programs and courses. These guides contain useful resources such as recommended databases, articles, ebooks, professional organizations and associations, as well as library tutorials to help students complete the research component of their coursework. And for those who've had the misfortune to be visited by the technology goblins, and I know we just got through with Halloween and it's election day, so there's goblins everywhere. We have the library's troubleshooting guide. So this guide provides students with solutions to some of the most frequently encountered technical issues they may experience in the library. This includes error messages, blank screens, and PDF problems. And if nothing in the guide works, we provide students with a forum to contact us directly. With that, I am going to shoot it back to Anna.
Awesome. Thanks, Allison, for going over all those amazing ways you can send folks our way. And as you can see by our little image here, we're basically at the library. We're basically just a bunch of lovesick teenagers anxiously awaiting to hear from our students. Librarians often have the reputation of wanting to sort of not be bothered or, annoyed if someone asks for help. And it couldn't be any further from the truth. We're pretty, we're a little bit pathetic, honestly, but by how much we would just love to help students. So you'd never have to worry about sending them our way. We are just sitting there anxiously waiting to hear from folks. And so, when it comes to that, I would love to get your help in spreading sort of my librarian's golden rule, which is, whenever a student tells me over the phone or through email that they've been battling a research assignment for, hours or days or weeks, I always advise them that, first of all, they just knock that off. Don't do that anymore, please. And, I let them know, like, here's a time limit I want to give you to give yourself. If you're not getting anywhere after a good faith effort, after 20 minutes, stop. stop right there and get in touch with a librarian. And I want everyone here, when you're dealing with students and yourself too, if you're in the library, it's been 20 minutes and you're not having success, stop. Get in touch with a librarian. Our non-traditional students are already dealing with higher levels of stress and isolation. So I want them to avoid any additional frustration or alienation. And that goes for faculty too. So Allison's going to review all the ways you can connect with us, whether you're a student or a faculty member.
Thanks, Anna. So we provide students access to 24/7 library tutoring services. This allows them to speak to a real-life librarian anytime they need assistance. And typically students are matched with a tutor right away. And all of our tutors go through a very rigorous onboarding process to familiarize themselves with the library and the needs of the student. And while students can utilize library tutoring anytime, and they're free to do so, if it is the evening of the assignment's due date, this is the avenue we would recommend students take because they will get immediate assistance from a real life librarian. And then we also have phone hours. So our phone hours are Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our phone number is toll free. And these phones are powered by none other than the world's top UAGC librarians. And recently, our phones have not been as busy as they used to be, as Anna pointed out. And whether this is because faculty and advisors have everything under control, or students are just hesitant to give us a call because they think we're mean old librarians and are going to get irritated with them, we are not sure. But we are available and anxiously awaiting your call. And this option is best utilized a couple of days before an assignment is due. And then students also have the option to email us directly. We respond to those emails within 1 business day. And this option is best utilized when you have a week or more to complete an assignment. Another reason to utilize this, personally, I like a paper trail. And I know librarians, we like to give very detailed instructions. I always include pictures, tell you exactly where to go, where to find things. So that's always beneficial for students. So in the end, if you take nothing from this presentation today, know that the library is here to provide research support to both you and your students. Think of us as your trusted partner in getting students through the confusing research landscape. Here's a list of resources mentioned in the presentation for your convenience. And here are some additional resources we would like to highlight to assist students. One particular resource I would like to highlight, which would be very helpful for students who are trying to reach out to the library, is the Contacting a Librarian Best Practices infographic. This resource goes over the different options students have to contact the librarians and how to best prepare and get the most out of their work with a librarian.
Okay, thank you, Allison. And we're just sharing some references to sort of back up, put our money where our mouth is, and the research that shows that students do better when we get to help them. Okay, and then we have some time left for questions and answers. I think I'll go ahead and stop my share. And I know we have, our PowerPoint slides with links to all those great resources. I'm not sure the best way to get those to folks. I was trying to just copy and paste them into the chat, and it did not look pretty. Obviously, when all these recordings are available, I assume the slides with all of these resources will be available as well. Jennifer, I love that you're expecting the Rockstars announcement. And, Allison and I wanted to kind of, keep it silly and, kind of engage you with our silliness. And it's making us realize, making me realize in this presentation, like, oh, maybe let's be a little more cute and silly with some of our HTML announcements. And I know recently we made one, or Karen Menti made us one with it was like Halloween themed. It had like a little Halloween ghost in some library stacks. Like, where are you guys? We miss you.
Stephanie asks, do you keep a top 5 or even a top 10 list for the most common things students and or faculty tend to reach out about?
I think we have a top and let me find it of like useful resources. But a lot of times it's citation. Gen 103 we get a lot trying to find resources. Um, a big thing with faculty now with AI is this a real resource? Like the student, put this in their references. Does it like doesn't I'm not able to find and faculty can reach out about that. But a lot of times it's just I need to find an article or scholarly articles about a topic, or I need to find this particular article, that type of thing. But let me see if I can find that resource.
And
Great
Allison,
question.
yeah, Allison is our reference librarian, so she's got a real, not just a finger on the pulse, like her hands and arms and legs on the pulse of the kinds of questions that are coming in. She's always looking at those. And if we see questions that come up repeatedly, Allison creates a quick answer for that. Or if something comes up that's new, she'll sort of, put it out to all the other librarians, like, hey guys, if you guys if this keeps coming up, let me know. I'll make a quick answer. We can make custom ones. If there's something you've noticed that maybe might be escaping our attention. These I think are like our top 5 recommended resources,
Yeah.
but yeah, it'd be interesting, Stephanie, maybe that's something we can take back to the library team and we can do some looking in our reference stats and see what are the top 5. But I agree with you, Allison. I think a lot of it really is assignment specific. Like
Hmm.
I need a scholarly article for this specific assignment in this specific class, which is nice because we get to get in there and do the nitty gritty,
Oh
and
yeah.
really help them with something that's like I need to get this done so that I can pick my kid up from soccer or I'd like to rest at some point during this week, so it's really rewarding to be able to help students sort of get on with their research and their lives.
And I think
Absolutely.
in the doctoral world, one of the things that Anna often does is she'll do a live demonstration of on the fly searching for a topic. And I think what has surprised everyone, and the feedback that we get from students is like sometimes things go wrong even for the librarian, that she has to refine the search multiple times, that she has to adjust the filters to make sure that she's in current research. And I think even for faculty who are watching that happen live, that it affirms too that, I mean, there are struggles when you're there's something that you're looking for. You get really used to Googling everything. And so getting into quality literature through the library is a great skill, but it is a skill set and you get better at it the more you practice it. So Anna, I don't know if you want to talk about the clunkiness that we experience as researchers.
Oh yeah, 100% research is a very iterative process. And I love to sort of fail in front of students and faculty because it just shows like, unfortunately something that's one of the most heartbreaking things about being a librarian is that there is a whole area of study on a concept called library anxiety. It's been around since the 80s. And it just breaks my heart because some of the symptoms are things like people believe that they are not competent and that they're the only ones who don't get this. Meanwhile, you've got your doctoral liaison librarian going, oh, that didn't work. And so if I can show folks that this is a messy process, it's iterative, you can't break it. Look, I need help. Hey, I'm not familiar with this field, guys. I'm not an expert in psychology. Y'all give me some keywords. I don't know this area. You guys are the experts. I think it helps them realize like, oh, research is not, some magical thing that no one can, those skills are not, super hard to attain. It's just an iterative, messy process. And it helps to have a friend in there with you. So
And we're your friends.
yes, we're your friends. We're not mean, scary librarians. We promise. We're like desperate little needy teenagers. We're like, do you like us, please? Will you come let us help you?
I'm
Uh,
curious about how you see AI as being a helper for students and or faculty when they have a topic that they want to research. So where does that fit?
I would say it's kind of like Wikipedia, right? Or just using Google. You have to take it with a grain of salt. Chat GPT and these AI, they just want to be your friend. They want to tell you what you want to hear. So it's great to explore a topic or even just come up with keywords, but definitely use the library. Encourage students to use the library because their tuition pays for it. It's trusted information. One thing, going back to rock stars, right? My husband and I were having a conversation about who was a better guitar player, Richie Sambora or Eddie Van Halen, right? And we asked the question to Chat GPT, and it was just like, oh, well, like they both have good qualities, right? So my husband went back and was like, okay, as a professional musician, as a professional guitar player, who would they say is better? It's Eddie Van Halen, but you have to kind of work the question to get the answer you want, right? So that's a perfect example of, using AI. Like, well, you asked it the first time, you're going to get the answer you want. Well, what does a professional musician say? So,
AI can be a great way to use to find keywords too, or like, hey, what are some gaps in the literature? It's great for brainstorming and ideation, but then, we'll get in there and actually, plug in what ChatGPT is suggesting and see if there are good suggestions.
mhm, exactly.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, you're getting lots of affirmations in the chat about
I know. Wow, we're
You're
feeling the love. Like
fantastic.
faculty, we feel the love. Like and
Definitely.
again, we're so needy. We need it from the students too, so bring them to us. And it's such
Agreed.
a pleasure working with all the faculty, like all the love you guys are giving us. Oh my gosh, right back at you. I can't tell, especially, a good example of Dr. Robinson. What a pleasure and an honor to get to work with a colleague and help them out as a student and then see them later with their doctorate and get to work with them as a colleague at that level. Like, wow. Also, too, I think everyone here knows Michael's just such a pleasure to work with. So it's really an honor and a privilege to get to work with our faculty and our students and our faculty students. So it's a huge honor and pleasure.
Any closing words as we're wrapping up our time? Tips, tricks, reminders?
I would say the biggest one is that we're here for you and we're here for the students and we want to support you. So please call us, email us, use our services. We're here for you.
Yeah, 100%. We're here for you. Help us help you help your students.
Help themselves.
Help themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison and Anna. I'm going to put in the chat. There is the survey to nominate TLC presentations for conference award. Share your feedback on this presentation. Thank you everyone for coming and we appreciate you. Have a great Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.